Come on.
They're right there!
Let's go. Move, 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 move.
This episode of Choices Not Chances podcast is sponsored by Louisiana Gun Shop, located on Highway 90 West in Broussard, Louisiana, just south of Lafayette. For more information, stay tuned at the end of this episode. This is Choices Not Chances podcast with Ryan and Matt. Welcome back for part 2 of Joey Froedtert. If you didn't listen to part 1, please go back and listen to it before you listen to this part, as it is a continuation. If you already listened to part 1, then enjoy part 2 of Joey Froedtert. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.
At the time we came back, I didn't want it again. Right now, and for like the last, say 6 months after we came back, I've wanted it every day of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do, but I don't know. I feel like it's different when I have kids now. Like I don't know. It's hard. Like I do, but I think I don't know.
Well, you have the innate drive to protect and be there to support and raise your kids too, and there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was because I don't know. I don't want to get into all that, but it's I don't know.
I mean, it is a young man's game.
You ain't. Well, unless you're. Well, I guess Gunny was a young man too, but
no, I mean he was our age.
Yeah.
So
our age now.
Yeah, our age that we are now. He was
young
back then.
Who are you talking about?
But when you're an 18,
Gunny Carver.
When you're an 18 to 21 year old freaking lance or a corporal or a sergeant, like you still have that. You still have that mindset of it don't hurt, but you're also, as much as we probably don't want to admit it, we're still very immature at that point.
Oh, very much so.
And just
yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I was very immature at that point.
I still consider myself immature at 3 or whatever I am right now.
And I feel like some guys weren't.
Right. I mean,
yeah, like Hackbart. Well, he was an older guy, but Hackbart.
Dude, we had great dudes.
Yeah,
we had great dudes. We were young,
up.
but like we're always young. Every time the Marines go, they're young.
Yeah.
So like, that was definitely by far and I know that was your kind of your first fleet element or whatever, and only.
Yeah.
And
be glad because, dude, that is the best.
Yeah.
That is the best unit I was ever with.
It'd be probably a pretty letdown.
It was the best unit. Yeah, you would go somewhere else and be disappointed, or you would foster that environment that you came from and make a change, right? Which is what ultimately, ultimately that's what you need to try to do. But we had great small unit leaders, dude, and we had great followers.
Yeah.
I always said, like, I don't know if I said it in the book, but whenever me and Matt are talking about it, I always talk about how it was the imperfect group of people to execute a nearly perfect scheme of maneuver.
Yeah.
Especially for the size of the invasion and the number of moving parts and the number of key leaders that were new, like to the platoon and to their squads.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me. There was many different shuffles right there at the end. You know, people that are now didn't do the work up together are now going to go deploy and zone together. And so, like, with all of that being said, I never seen Marines operate better than that in my life.
Right.
Like, as a whole.
And to tie it in, a question I was saving for later, but now we're just going to get into it because it kind of fits right now is, and I don't want you to compare the two, but I know we've talked offline, me and Ryan have talked offline about it, and, you know, we're in FAST together. We already kind of talked about our platoon commander and platoon sergeant in FAST.
Yeah.
And then our platoon commander and platoon sergeant, we haven't really, we've introduced them previously and on this episode, but I know all three of us at this table hold a great respect for those two men, those two war fighters.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
And the thing is, what I wanted to ask you was, how do the two compare? Are they the same? Are they, you know, I don't think in my mind, I don't think that either one's better or worse. They have their good qualities and they have their bad qualities for sure, as every leader does.
Yeah.
But
I think it's hard to judge because we were in two different situations, you know what I mean?
for sure.
And I know, like, in 3-6, we didn't know exactly where we were going to go, but in 03s, you're always preparing for war.
Right.
Like, and so I think it's really hard to judge. Like, and I don't think it's fair to, like, I would have followed Sergeant Fabian into the ends of the earth.
Correct. Yep. I'm right there with you.
And I would have followed Captain Bellman in the ends of the earth. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't know.
Do you hold that same for LT and
yeah,
but probably more proven?
Yeah, more proven, and I would do. Yeah, I don't know. And it's just, I just feel like it's, I don't know. These guys shaped my life, you know?
Right.
All of them.
Yep.
Sergeant Fabian and Captain Bellman and Lieutenant Emmanuel and Staff Sergeant Wright and Hack Barth, and it's just all these guys, man. Like, I didn't have, like, I listen to a lot of you guys' podcasts, and I've noticed, like, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them had, like, that core family element. I didn't have that, like, on either side. And I don't know where I'd be without the Marine Corps, you know? And,
but
sorry, but
Good, man, good.
Yeah, I don't.
Is it that the Marine Corps in general, with the way that the Marine Corps is operated and the way that things go, is it that the structure?
Yeah, the structure and just the
brotherhood,
and like I always say, I'm real close with my sisters, and
so we just had to take a break. And one of the reasons that me and Ryan wanted to start this was to help veterans deal with issues that they may have known or that they didn't. And I was told when I came back that by a certain individual that it helps to talk about it. So that's another reason for this. We're taking some time on this Marjah deployment that I know me and Ryan covered.
Kind of beat it up.
5 episodes about us, which this isn't about us. We're helping in this conversation along, but this is about the man who I referenced in the intro, my one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And this is therapeutic for him to talk about it. So we're going to push as long as we want on this, or as long as he wants on this. And so, yeah. Where were we, Fro?
I don't remember.
So you were talking about your sisters and the impact of growing up with maybe a lack of structure.
Yeah.
And then the Marine Corps giving you those fundamental building blocks. But it's not only the fundamental building blocks of a moral compass and morals and ethics and, pride and steadfast dedication to something higher than self.
Yeah.
It's then you add the people to it, right?
Yeah.
And then you got these brothers, and then you got this structure in this family of brotherhood that most people don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't explain it to anybody.
Right.
Not if they haven't been there.
Yeah.
And done that.
Yeah. And it was just, it's just turning you into a man, you know?
Yeah.
And the hard way. And
do hard things.
Yeah, do hard things and going through tough times and great times, and I don't know. It's hard for me to express my words. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just, I loved all you guys.
Loved you too, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't know. More than I can explain, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. So we can push to day 2. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
do you want to skip day 2?
Nah. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can skip day 2.
I mean, I think a lot of the listening audience is spun up, and so like.
I was just wondering if he had a certain context on, because he was on the maneuver element for the machine gun bunkers.
Yeah,
but
I'd love to hear.
That was.
I mean, if you don't see anything,
yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't. We can just push up to that.
You want to talk about the 21st of February, or?
Yeah, we can.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
So the build up to the 21st is essentially we leave you on day 2. Day 2 and day 3, we do a frontal assault on a machine gun bunker, 2 mutually fortified machine gun bunkers, kind of like as the company point. And you guys are part of that action, right? That sweep squad.
Yeah.
We were a fixing element by support by fire. We take that down and kind of move into our main objective. We sweep it. A lot of combat, a lot of kinetic activity.
Go back to the first 2 episodes, and you'll get it.
Yeah, you can go back to episodes 1 and 2, maybe even 3, and you'll get that action. And so now we're going to move up. We've now established, we established a hold on the area. We've defended multiple counterattack type situations, and we actually have engineers move into the Camp Allen area, which is what it was called before it was named later. And as they move into the Camp Allen area, they got dozers and HESCO and things of that nature to go ahead and build our COP, like build us a combat outpost to live out of. And meanwhile, we're doing, security patrols and contact patrols and such. And one morning they called down to LT. He's over at the gas station across the street. We own both sides of the street at that point, and they called over to him and said, hey, we got some military-age males up here. They got guns. It seems to be like maybe, and then they called back and said, hey, they shot at us. And it's almost like they were requesting permission to return fire, which I understand they weren't us and they didn't come in with us, but it seemed rudimentary to us, or like, yeah, well, like return fire, right? So they returned fire and kill this Taliban guy, and my squad was on REACT, so LT hits us up. He's like, hey, go up there, run this guy, make sure he's down, see if you can get any intel. And that's kind of builds the mission on the 20th, because we were told up there where there's some bad dudes at, and, they even threatened us, saying that if the Marines go down there, the Marines won't come out of there, kind of, dialogue with our interpreters and such. And so we build a plan, like, yeah, we'll go down there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just kind of pick it up from there. I think it was early, about eight or so the next morning, when we peeled off to go up there and kind of rectify their.
Yeah, I think we got briefed the night before, and because I remember, if I'm remembering right, if it was either the night before or the morning of, but I'm pretty sure it was the night before, because I remember me and Hanson were talking like, this is gonna get froggy, like this is gonna get like, from what they were saying, like this is in you now. And I remember going to sleep that night, getting bit up by all the freaking fleas in the blankets, and
but at least
laying awake.
Warm.
I don't even know if we slept that night. Like,
I slept like a baby.
I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember. And I don't think we did. But for me, I did. I don't know if that night I did. And I just remember waking up the next morning. We were doing all our checks and getting everything ready. And I remember walking up, and it was a pretty long walk, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty good.
It was a pretty good height. And
we had to go down through the bazaar and then back in to the west.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, we're not getting shot at yet, so maybe this won't be so bad.
It was a solid movement before we made it up to the sauciness.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, and then it just opened up on us.
And so, like, give people context, we're basically a flanking element, right? So my squad's moving up. We go up to the cemetery where we got the intel.
Yeah, you would have to say that, because I don't exactly know where you guys were at.
Yeah, all good. So we're at the top of the, like, OK radio tower where all the black flags, the cemetery were up there.
Yep.
Okay, so we're up
We had
here.
snipers up there too, didn't we?
Negative.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought we did.
No, it's just our squad.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I had LT with me, and I believe you guys had Staff Sergeant, were you right? Yeah, Staff Sergeant.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like as we broke out of the bazaar, you guys started to come out to the right and flank our movement, but like several hundred meters off.
Yeah.
So we had, each of us could maneuver on the enemy if the other one got jammed up, was the idea, right?
Yeah.
Travel and movement, travel and Overwatch.
Yep.
So we move up, and then we got up on top in this big mansion-like house up here. It was really, really big. It was really hardened. It was really modernized and smoothed out instead of like edged up mud.
Yeah.
We're like, holy shit! We kicked the people out because everything got spicy. Like everything just got real. Like the atmospherics just got real spicy.
Yeah, and it was, you could feel it.
Yeah, and
in
well,
your gut.
you guys were, because we're on this hill. Well, this hill comes down like this to you guys into like a chisel plowed poppy field.
Yeah.
And then that like was like hamlet houses kind of skirting
I think
the
we
poppy
took one of
field.
them houses and we're kind of doing like a little Overwatch for a minute.
Yeah, that
And
makes
it's just-
sense probably.
And it was just, I think I remember just people moving. You just seen just people moving everywhere, and you're just like, oh, something bad's about to happen.
Now, did
here.
they open on you guys first, us guys first, or do you think it
can't
was at the
remember.
same time?
I think it was at the like Simon. It was just
Because it seemed like there was nothing, and then there was all of it.
chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instant chaos.
So you
'Cause
go from there.
And I remember, from what I remember, I was out in the field with my team, and that's when it opened up, and it was like pretty accurate machine gun fire on us. And me and my team leader were in a ditch, in like a little, like with the
Like irrigation
ditch,
Yeah. Wadi.
yeah, like a little wadi, and we took cover in there and started returning fire. And we had another Marine who decided to lay down in the middle of the field, and me and my team were like, "You need to get cover, get cover, get cover." And I remember him just standing up and walking, rounds hitting next to him, and he gets into the wadi and he just looks over and he's like, "Pussies."
Was that Corey?
Yeah, that was Brown. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to like just start throwing out names, but yeah, I'm sure he'd like that.
Yeah.
Probably so.
And he just started laying down with the saw.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we were getting some for a while, and then I think we had a lull. Is that when you?
Now, the question I guess I would have is, at what point? No, at some point right there, it was spicy all the way until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And somebody got shot in a smoke grenade.
I don't remember seeing it. I think I remember hearing. Maybe I did see it. I don't know. I don't know.
I saw it.
Yeah, well, I mean, from
Yeah.
our position,
we had a vantage point.
Yeah, we were elevated on you guys, so we were looking down into the field, and all I seen was purple smoke. And I'm like, because to us we didn't know,
Yeah, it
like
was
you
like a
guys
mark.
were communicating, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, I'm starting to think, oh my God, they've already got a casualty. They're trying to land a chopper out
Yeah.
there, and that's like a wide open. They're already taking contact. That's a bad LZ. You know,
Yeah.
that's right in the middle of it.
Like, we
And
probably should have taken a casualty in the open, the way they opened up. You know what I
I
mean?
think you
It's
guys
like-
came really,
Yeah.
really close. Like as
A
close
couple
as you
close.
can come to taking a casualty without is how that was. you
Yeah,
guys.
I think my team
And so-
leader had his camel pack got shot.
Yeah, vertically.
Yeah,
So
vertically.
it missed
It's like
his helmet by what, a centimeter?
Yeah.
An inch? Who knows?
Yeah.
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 It turns out they weren't marking. You guys weren't marking for anybody.
No.
Your squad leader took a round through the drop pouch.
Yeah, he took around through the drop pouch and
And he has a purple smoke grenade in
Had
there.
a violet smoke canister explode and start burning his leg through his drop pouch.
yeah.
Do you remember why that's funny? Even funnier than funny?
Because you would ask him a question, like
In the
workup, and if he didn't know, he would just like
Purple.
Yeah, purple.
That was his answer. Purple.
Yeah, purple.
Ended up being
Karma's
purple smoke.
Yeah,
Kind
and
of
didn't you tell him like about purple or something? Didn't you ask him like, was it purple anymore there? Sergeant
I
Hyde?
said, so is the new answer orange or something?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Shout out Sergeant Hyde.
Yeah, shout out. Pick a color next time we don't throw a ground marker smoke with.
Yeah. Yes. And I don't. Yeah, it was chaos, and then I believe you guys got it suppressed for a while for us.
Yeah, we rolled a couple guys off of a roof deep that
Yeah.
we knew were some of the people suppressing y'all. We seen it.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Corporal Bennett on the DM. Shout out Bennett. Rolled a couple guys off the roof for you guys. And once that happened, and if I'm wrong and that wasn't you, my bad. I'm pretty sure it was Bennett with the DMR and some barrier rounds, getting out, reaching out and touching them.
Yeah.
And when that happened, like we hit our bunker that was strafing us and eliminated that, and then Bennett got those guys, and then there was a lull. It was like the whole battlefield went quiet.
Yeah.
And you guys were like kind of like, in my mind, I couldn't see you at the time. I didn't look down, but in my mind, I just feel like you were like looking around, like,
Thank God.
Okay. And that's when I told Hein, I said, hey, you're good to push. We hit them dudes.
Yeah.
We hit them dudes that were on you. You're good to push. You
There,
said,
yeah, and there was another story about someone calling Staff Sergeant over the radio, and he wouldn't answer for a second.
well, that was LT was trying to get a sit rep
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you
he
guys
was getting
first
a sit-
took contact.
Yeah, and it was, spicy.
It was a little spicy at the time. And yeah, it was a funny story later because Staff Sergeant's like, I'm face down in the fucking dirt, sir. I'll get back to you. Sometimes you have those times when you just can't talk on the radio.
No.
Can't talk on the radio.
One of those times.
And,
Yeah, so
that was one of those times. You guys were like, they poured it on you guys like water.
Yeah.
When you were in that open field, they poured it on you from an elevated position.
Yeah.
With automatic weapons, and that's not fun to be on the receiving end.
No. And you guys got it suppressed for a second. I think, I don't know who. We were like, well, we need to get into a building, and then they sent me and a combat engineer, and we cleared the building.
Shout out Sergeant Barraza.
Barraza, thank you. Yeah, Sergeant Barraza. Me and him cleared. We were the first to enter the building, and
You say the first, but I think the way I remember, you were the only at that time.
yeah, probably the only. I
think you guys were a pair, right?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, buddy pair. So I remember I dropped my Gerber, and it was a nice Gerber. And I was like, I'm not going back after that. It'll stay there.
That very same day, LT went back for a White Star cluster that fell out of his pouch. You remember that?
Attaboy.
Running like a suicide drill.
Yeah.
We were like, sir, no!
Yeah.
Damn it.
Too late.
And we took the building, and then Sergeant Barraza called it up all clear. Like, we cleared everything, and everybody, they started echeloning towards us, and I remember everybody coming in the building, and there was no fire, I don't believe, at this point. And all of a sudden, there was just a shot out. And
Single? Like a single shot?
I believe. And I just remember Hanson, like, just rearing up, and
And is this as he's coming through the door, or
coming to the door? And I don't remember if he said. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I just remember him rearing up, and we grabbed him up, and I remember him saying, "My back, my back, my back," and we ripped his flak jacket off, and we couldn't find anything on his back at first, and we were looking, and finally we found, where he got hit at. And we just kept telling him, it ain't shit, you're going to be all right. You're going to be at home. You're going to be drinking beer. You're going to be getting all the women, And he just kept saying my back. And from what I remember, and he remember saying, I'm thirsty. So we gave him a drink of water. And then it was just like nothing there he just went out. And I remember Doc saying, I can't get a pulse. And Doc was having a hard time getting a IV in him at the time because of the blood loss, And he just went quiet for a little bit. And then Doc started doing CPR on him. And I remember him saying, I got him back. And I remember at that point, I was like, oh, he's going to be all right. And, Staff Sergeant got the chopper in.
Mm-hmm. And at this time, you guys have Marines on the roof, hard pointing. I'm assuming that was kind of our instant TTP.
Yeah, there was only a couple of us. I think I don't want to say any names, but there was a couple of us down there with them, and yeah, we got them on the litter, and we got them to the helicopter, and I remember I was like, oh, he's going to be good. I think trying to just, tell yourself.
And that's something that we talk about. If you get them on the chopper alive, 99% of the time, and at that point,
that to you.
Yeah, well, at that point, my career was 100%.
Yeah,
anybody we ever put on chopper alive made it ever.
Yeah,
and so that was a lift up, I think, to a lot of us.
And it was such an up. Like I remember, I'm like thinking, like we don't got a pulse, and then Staff Sergeant calling in, and then Doc was like, "Oh, he's like, I got a pulse, I got him back." And then I remember Staff Sergeant saying, "You're not going to believe this, but we got him back. Send the chopper or whatever," and whatever, paraphrasing, obviously. And then we got him to the chopper, and then there's something to say about the first A&A we had. I remember we were getting his flak and rifle, and them guys pulling that stuff out of our hands. Mm-hmm. And we still had the fight after that, and we were still taking pop shots after that. Mm-hmm. And then I remember getting back to the OP there, and I remember feeling so bad.
Bad for
because I told another Marine I said he was going to be all right, and it wasn't long after that we found out he didn't make it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a pretty and I don't remember in the moment feeling like I feel it now.
Yep.
I think a lot of it was anger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're mad, you want revenge, you get that rage and that. And we hadn't been touched. Bacolo got hit shortly before that, and he took through and through. But all in all,
Courier.
I mean, he took a through and through and got back up on the saw and just started laying waste down on the enemy.
Yeah.
And so it hit different, right?
Yeah.
And then we had taken some hits in the days leading up to that. On the 17th, we had a bad day, and we had a team caught in the open by a machine gun, and that hit a little different because we weren't there. We weren't moving troops. It wasn't our guys. We were the bailout squad.
Yeah. But
that day let everybody know that they weren't invincible, that absolutely the enemy has a choice too when they shoot, where they shoot, and you are not bulletproof.
Yeah.
And that's a humbling experience, and I'm not saying necessary, but it did good things for us tactically. We didn't get too loose and push into bad situations.
Right.
And that was a symptom of the 21st.
Yeah.
It was a symptom of the 21st that we said, this is real. We must be calculated. We must be methodical. And because until that point, we didn't think anything could touch us.
Yeah.
So and it's tough, man. And then you find out that one of your boys is gone. And we talk about this a lot on the podcast, is that you don't get that. You're not going to a funeral. You're not seeing parents. You're not getting that closure. It's like, okay, roger that. Well, we're still in a goddamn gunfight.
Yeah.
Right? We're still in a real bad situation right here. And now you need to clear your eyes and clear your mind because we're going back out on patrol.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to utilize your RCO so that this doesn't happen again. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what we have. And that's kind of the word that passed around after that was like, yeah, this sucks. And if you don't want it to happen again, you better lace up.
Yeah.
So that was, it was hard on the whole platoon. Harder on the guys that were with him. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So after that, I think things changed psychologically.
Definitely. How could it not?
Yep, psychologically it changed.
Anything else from that day?
No. Yeah. I mean, just pissed off, you know.
A lot of anger.
Sadness, anger, a bunch of, a waterfall of emotion is, exactly how it comes.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, man, fucking.
And
he was such a good fucking Marine.
Well, that, and
Person.
he was so well loved by
every
every Marine in the entire fucking platoon.
Yeah.
He was just, he was one, and it's cliche, but
that's exactly what I was going to say, bro. It's so cliche.
When it's cliche, it's because it's true.
Yeah.
But it's, and I'm not saying anyone was hated in the platoon, but like he was that guy, he was that boot who everybody fucking loved.
Yeah.
Faith too. He had faith.
And that was
very
it.
Much so.
But do you have anything else for that day?
No.
And basically, because after that day we moved into battalion, or into what was Camp Allen and eventually Camp Hansen, and battalion came in after that.
That's right.
Do you want to tell any of the north of the radio tower stories? Are you good with that?
What stories are those?
We're gonna go with no.
Offline.
I'm going to open up the rest of the deployment for you just to run through however you want, because I know parts of the deployment speed up and parts of the deployment slow down, at least for me, and we've talked enough offline for me to know that's about how it went for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of ebb and flows, and
it's post react.
Yeah.
OP, post react, the whole 9 yards.
I remember looking forward to OP. I loved OP.
And I'm right there with you. OP is
I would have stayed out in OP
life
the whole time.
Yep.
And company, like being back on with the company and everything wasn't horrible. But
all you had to do was stand post, though. So
yeah, all I had to do was stand post and
go on patrol. And
and I was lucky because I wasn't, I could pick who I stood post with,
right.
And there was one other guy that I stood post with most of the time, and a majority of the time, and I didn't have any of the bad posts.
Right.
I was, at the time I was a Lance Corporal, and, Lance Corporal.
And we had super boots.
Yeah, we had super boots. So, you're doing that.
Super boot is a super boot.
Yeah.
They got treated very well for boots.
Yeah. 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 Maybe.
So there was just one that sticks out in my mind was that, was it a 107 rocket?
Oh, when we were down at the VCP.
By company.
Yeah. I remember we were playing. Me and Hackbar played a lot of Uno. I was never a spades player like a lot of the Marines were. I didn't know how to play it. I didn't want to learn how to play it. But
you didn't stroke a mortar either, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And
shout out 41s.
Hackbar's played a lot of Uno. Don't play Uno with him ever. you want to kill him.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You
Did he cheat or was he just?
No, he was just it was just an aggravating. He was lucky. I remember we were playing Uno, and I remember hearing this whistling. It's like, and me and Hackbar just kind of snapped to each other and looked, from what I remember, and it's like. And then we just started yelling, "Get down!" And I took cover, and Hackbar's running, "Get down!" He took cover, and luckily it didn't. And that VCP was a little sketch,
Already, yeah.
And it landed. I don't know how far behind us. It was good. It was. We heard it. We saw it. Yeah, it was between 250 and 500 probably, and. I was just like, ooh.
A little close for comfort.
Yeah. I was like, glad they're not good at that. That would have really sucked.
Correction, that VCP was not kind of sketch. That thing was
100%
very sketch.
Oh, yeah. And I'll say another thing.
Talk about it because people, when he says VCP, he's talking about a vehicle checkpoint.
Yeah, vehicle checkpoint. And it was not big enough. In my opinion, Like, it was not big enough at all.
The angles were all wrong.
Angles were all wrong. You'd see their little Jingo Jango trucks driving by, and you see the top. I'm like, I remember just thinking all the time, like, they can just drop a grenade in here anytime they want. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how we didn't, because we stood that thing while you were doing the bats and
I think that,
and all that.
I think we had, in my opinion, we had the enemy so scared they never wanted to be that close to us. I think we did
probably so.
I think they
or they may have still been in their watching phase because we were fresh to the area.
And they knew we were about to fight,
Right. Yeah, and they definitely knew we didn't mean we meant business for sure. But at the same time, there's some. I remember some complacency throughout the deployment, as much as I'd hate to say it. But I mean, it happens to everybody.
It happens.
And that's something for people. These war fighters we have now that take away from it. Again, I'm gonna go with the cliche. Complacency kills, man.
Yeah,
and
I'll
were
talk
lucky,
about complacency where I almost destroyed $1 million camera.
Do it.
So it was towards the end, and it was, in my eyes, it was totally my bad,
Right.
And they said, I was just picking up corporal, and I just did my MCI or whatever, all that bullshit, and picked up corporal because that's, in my eyes, I wanted to do a deployment and pick up, and I picked up corporal, or I didn't pick up yet. I just got I knew I was got the cutting score kind of came out, and I knew I was getting it, and I said, hey, Froedtert, get a working party resupplies here, and I just woke up, they woke me up, and we're towards the end, and I was like, all right, you freaking idiots. Come at the worst times all the time, It's not their fault, I didn't
just show up whenever they get there.
No, it was totally new guys. So I just walked up, and I'm like, I'll meet you over by the Connex boxes or whatever. And I was supposed to ground guide, and I was just a walking zombie. And I started walking, and I walked under it. You know how the G-Boss has the guide cables?
Yeah.
I walked under it. Well, this guy followed me under the guide cable, and it snapped. And I went like this, and I see this G-Boss camera, and I was like, and I just went running for the hooches, screaming,
I do remember the scream.
I was like, get out of hooches. And then I remember just I'm so fucked. Because I remember it wasn't Gunny Carver, because I guarantee I wouldn't even have talked if it was Gunny Carver. Gunny
McCarver.
Yeah.
Gunny Mac.
Yeah, Gunny Mac. Yeah, it wasn't Gunny Mac. I think he might have even been gone at this time.
He might have gone. Yeah, bless you.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have made it home.
And screamed you all the way to death.
Yeah, and I remember I don't know who came out, and I was telling them what happened, and I was like, it was my bad, and I was a ground guide, and I took the full blame for it, and he was just like, rah, rah, rah. And then he said, man, that fucking driver's an idiot. Why would you didn't see this freaking 4-inch cable? I was like, well, I was ground guiding him, and he's like, yeah, you were an idiot too, but but I never heard anything I thought. I was like, man,
it just went away.
Yeah,
but the G-Boss didn't come down.
No. Yeah. If it would have came down, I'm pretty sure I'd be.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah, probably be still picking up rocks to pay that thing off. Yeah, but, you do
so people know it's a badass piece of equipment. G-Boss is a telescopic pole basically, and then it's held down by. Wires.
It's like a cell phone tower.
Yeah, just like that. And at the top of it, you have a really expensive camera that can zoom in really far. It has a laser pointer that can give you a 10-digit grid and a push of a button out to a very long distance. White hot. It's got FLIR on it. So it's a very good piece of equipment, and typically it's used for the best of my knowledge was ever used with me. We used them in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's almost like a big brother. It's a good way to make sure your COP or your combat outpost or your battle position, your BP, has eyes all the time. So instead of having, of course you're gonna have posts, but if you don't want something crazy sneaky to happen to you, now you have this 360-degree view of your entire battle space at your area of operation and your battle position. And then it's down into a feed into the COC where there's always people buzzing awake, moving around, vigilant.
Well, I think there was a separate area for it, wasn't there?
Well, at the bottom, but they could direct feed that onto that big 80-inch, TV. They could put it where they want it. But, so then you have a Marine on post at the bottom of it kind of looking for anomalies. And it's a big brother. It's a protection tool, and it's a really good one. But, I think that if you guys knocked it over, you'd have been fucked.
Yeah, and I almost destroyed it.
Yeah. What's crazy is I never even heard that story.
Yeah.
I didn't know that happened.
Know why. You know why I didn't hear it? Because
we were out?
No, because, Gunny was gone.
I have a feeling there was a certain other staff NCO that covered that let that one just no big deal.
That driver's an idiot. We'll blame it on him. That guy got reduced 2 ranks.
You're an idiot. 2. Just don't worry about it.
They charged the driver and didn't tell us.
And we're gonna promote you. That's how the Marine Corps works.
Get after it. So.
Well, common sense still applies. I mean, don't run over a ground cable. I mean, damn.
Well, I shouldn't have walked underneath it.
Were you walking underneath it, bringing him right into you?
No, I was just making a shortcut.
He was zombie walking.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll meet you over at the Connex. Because the other guys knew right with. I don't even think we had to ground guide them. That's where they would just go. You know what I mean?
And this guy's like, all right, following you.
Yeah, he's just like. It was probably it was probably super big, just got there 10 days earlier. And it's like, okay.
Eyelids.
And there's my dumb ass are we home yet? Yeah, but don't get complacent. Cause, that could have been that could have been complacency somewhere else, and I could have really got someone fucked up.
You thought that G-Boss was coming down on them 10s.
Yeah, I did. And that was my main fear. I didn't whatever.
Not breaking the camera, but killing everybody with it.
Yeah. Because I remember looking up and it was I was like.
On the upside, I think the Taliban was using that G-Boss as an aiming stick to fire that 107. So
probably they were a little off.
Likely.
500 meters down the road and then 500 meters past the VCP.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I never heard that story.
Yeah, they're not as good as.
Did you know about that story?
Yeah.
I knew about it
when it happened.
You guys might have been probably dead.
Oh, no, might have been on
because I remember someone running in and telling me.
Time as you.
I remember someone running into the tent, and someone said the G-Boss is coming down, and we was like, "What?" And it may have been you.
It probably was.
Looked for your friends first. Shred.
Yeah, there's a little comic relief there, but I mean, seriously though,
it wasn't funny at the time.
No, absolutely not. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We can laugh about it now.
I can't tell you I wasn't laughing about it then. I'm not going to say that.
Oh yeah, that's how the Marines work. If it's not your ass that's about to get
exactly,
it's real funny.
Bro, I'll stand up for you at your NGP. I got you.
I just remember thinking,
character statement up.
Just found out I'm getting corporal, and this is what I do. I never really get chewed out too much, about anything big. You know what I mean? I never really fucked up this bad.
Shit happens when you party naked.
I mean, and at that point, I don't know how they punish you.
Yeah.
No. You gonna put me back on patrol cycle? Cool.
Yeah. What, I have to go stand post again?
Yeah.
Should have been well, I guess I shouldn't have been standing post 2 hours ago throughout the entire.
I'll take my restriction in country.
Don't take my pay until I get home, though.
Yeah, I need that.
Let that combat pay stack up.
Yeah.
That's epic story, though.
Only you, Joey Froedtert. Only you. So we transition. Unless you want to hit on the 5-day war, I mean, I know you wanted to shoot an AT4 like nobody's business. But
I wasn't. Yeah, fucking thing. Like, why do we have wall rocket? Why are we carrying this thing?
Because one's like 60-something millimeters and one's 84.
I don't care. It's bigger. Shoot two of them.
Unless you can tell me
that.
Unless you can tell me that AT4 would have taken out that machine gun bunker, there was no.
No,
reason
I
to
understand. I just joke about it now, but I wanted to shoot it bad. One, because I didn't want to carry it, and two, because I just wanted to shoot it.
Because you already were carrying it for so long.
Yes, the whole deployment.
Nope, I find target of opportunity in the first 48 hours.
Yeah.
Get rid of this weight, boys.
Yeah. I don't think I had it in the beginning, though. I don't remember. I don't know. Who cares? But, I tried to shoot that.
What do you mean you tried to shoot it?
I'd ask. Because, towards the end, I shouldn't have asked. Should have just freaking
You'd ask, like, hey, can I shoot the AT4?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if I didn't bring the G-Boss down on the... Because this is before, I would have just shot him, like, oops, I didn't know. I'm walking, I'm treading on, like,
You burned up that Lance Corporal don't know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember, like... Because when I said about the first
a war crime, right? I'm joking, people. Damn,
but seriously. And I remember talking about the first A&A we had were on point, in my opinion. They were awesome, and they were. And then we got the second ones, and I won't go in, maybe they just weren't trained as well, or I don't know. But I remember being out there, and we weren't out there for the full 5-day war, or I don't even remember. We were taking fire, and I remember getting up and putting my flak on, and I was getting ready to go up on the post, and this A&A or ANCOP, I don't know what he was. He was an idiot. But as soon as I step out, he shoots off the freaking RPG.
That was Earmuffs. That was my guy.
Was it really? No, this was
later on.
Oh, you was talking about Kandak 2 RPG gunners.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember stepping out, and he just lets one off, and it blasts me with the back blast. I'm like, you stupid motherfucker. And he goes, what? Taliban? Finished. I'm like, no, they're not. They're still shooting at you. It's like they're not. Like literally, you shot 75 meters in front of you. Like, they're still shooting at you. They're not finished. Get down. You're done.
Taliban no good. Taliban finished.
Yeah.
Didn't they use a P? Taliban finished.
Yeah, Taliban finished. Yeah. I'm like, no. Get down.
A&A finished.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, that was so loud.
Well, did you shoot your rocket though?
No.
You carried it the whole time and then turned it over?
I turned it over out there.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was so mad about it,
What a travesty.
Yeah. Stupid.
And because it's not like...
I should have been allowed to bring it home as much as I carried it.
It's not like you guys weren't in gunfights.
No.
The entire fucking time.
Yeah, and I don't... Like, a lot of them were pretty far out, too. And I was like, I could probably touch them. But I didn't want to waste it throughout. Like, I wanted that one moment. Like I was always worried, like...
You wanted a VID.
Like, I was going to fire it and not get another one, and then, like, I need one. But
this vehicle or some cherry target or something.
Yeah, at this time, I remember I was just like, I'm going to light this off. And they're like, no. I'm like,
oh, you know what? Didn't we have to? No, that wouldn't have been then. That would have been when we got back to Cop Riley.
He said, it's too far. I said, I don't care.
Arc it.
Yeah, I'm just going to lob it in there.
Come on, man.
Who said you can't use 84mm rocket in IDF, baby?
Yeah. Yeah. So where's Herbie? Get his arms up here. And, but yeah. Yeah. So I remember I walked back and just being so happy. I'm like, oh, we're done.
Yeah. Was that your last stop before you guys left?
Yeah, we left right after that.
Yeah, because I knew it was close after that.
And then I seen what we were getting taken out on, and I was like, I'll stay.
Like, what, you think we're taking trucks?
No, I'm like a helicopter.
I mean, at least it wasn't an Osprey.
It was an Osprey.
It was a 53.
Was it a 53?
It was a 53. It's a big one still, a big slow one.
You might have got on an Osprey, but I got on a 53 because that's just your luck too.
I could have swore I could be wrong too.
You might be thinking.
I have like PTSD from Ospreys. I hate them.
I know you do.
stupid
Because
things.
you didn't like the fly, and you had that incident in Cax.
Yeah.
But so all right, so we could transition back to Dwyer, if you're good,
Yeah.
and then back home in formation, release to Liberty, and
yeah.
now we're officially back in CONUS.
Yeah.
Anything?
We're drunk.
A lot.
So we're back to the States, and tell me how that goes. You're getting ready for the transition out of the Marine Corps, because at that point you decided to end your enlistment, whenever it ran out, and become a former Marine instead of an active duty Marine.
Yeah. A lot of drinking.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah. I think we kept Jacksonville alive that year.
Paid some bills.
Yeah, we kept the lights on. No,
think
it
so.
was, you're trying to bury a lot of shit when you
Well,
get
of
back.
course.
And I was going through. It wasn't long after that. Going through a divorce, so you got that, and then
Right.
Getting out sucks. And
Well, it does and it doesn't, I guess would be the...
it's a lot of mixed emotions. Like
Right.
a lot, like
And
you
it
feel
does-
like you accomplished something, but then you're like, oh, I'm leaving. Like
And now
I
it's on
said
to the
earlier in the
next.
episode, I'm leaving my family.
Right.
And
You're still leaving your family.
yeah, and so I ripped it off like a Band-Aid almost. Like we had that
That's what you
going
gotta-
away party, and I was out, and then I didn't talk to anybody for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
long while.
And
Yeah.
do you know, break that up? Why not?
I don't
Life?
know.
'cause,
Yeah, I think
a lot
it's
of times
life.
it's just life.
Yeah, because
And
I continued drinking when I got home, just trying to numb everything and figure out what you're doing. And I don't know. It's just like talking with you guys a lot about having a purpose. You don't have one when you got, I didn't. I don't want to say everybody. Some people do, and they're squared away. I wasn't. And I just didn't have a purpose. And then I got a girl pregnant about 2 months after I got out.
Semper Fi.
that's,
Yeah. Which I think, I always say it saved my life,
Right.
I was very lucky. God was looking out for me
Mm.
in that instance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then been with that same lady for 11 years now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just one kid, or you guys had more
I got
after
two.
that? Or?
Yeah, I have two. We had one more after that, and then I realized how expensive they were, and I was like, "Yeah, we're done with that." No,
Shut that factory off.
I had a boy and a girl, and I was done.
Well, I want to touch on one thing you just said. It was, squared away. You didn't. I don't remember exactly how you said it, but some guys when they get out, they have a plan.
Yeah.
They're squared away. Some guys appear to be good.
Yeah.
And have a plan and be squared away, and then some guys don't have a plan. And
I thought I had a plan, but and I kind of carried out that plan. I was like, well, maybe I'll go work in corrections,
Right.
and
And
maybe I'll go to
You tried it.
college. And I tried all that, and it wasn't. None of it was for me.
You're right. So you did 2 years in corrections.
Yeah. And that was good too, a little bit with that, because you got a lot, that was kind of like a tight community with some of them
Right.
guys I worked with.
And you had some veterans in there as well. So that was kind of a good way to transition, is to find a similar group to kind of bring you down slowly.
Yeah, but they weren't like veterans like us, so it was like our generation veterans,
Right.
And not saying that's bad or what I mean.
Right.
It was just different,
Exactly.
And and still to this day I have trouble connecting with people on the outside. I just don't talk to many people. I don't want to make new friends.
Do you think it's just because do you think it's because when you're in that place you realize what friendship is?
I think
at
so.
a real level,
And it's never going to be like that.
because it doesn't become reciprocated from people outside of that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's kind of heartbreaking at a certain point too, because you want to love your friends like that outside the military, but you know that you can't ever build that bond necessarily with them like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can want that all you want with anybody,
but
and that is only made in a couple of ways, and it's mostly tragedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, and I know you said you what was it, a semester in school?
Yeah, I went one semester at a community college, and I don't know if it was just too soon for me getting out, because it was pretty close to after. It was like, I don't know, September, I guess. It'd probably be about right. September I started, and it just wasn't for me. Like, I didn't really talk to anybody. I didn't really communicate. I met some vets, but
Again.
Yeah, it was just not the same. They weren't grunts, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I applied to the prison and got a job there. Worked there for a couple of years, and then that was taking a toll, man. Like, I seen some of the old guys, and they're all on antidepressants. Not all, but a lot of them are on antidepressants in the prison, and it's just divorce rate is super high, and it's just, you go into such suck and hate every day.
Right.
It's
Depression.
just depressing going in there.
And almost like the last thing you needed at that point.
Yeah.
After coming off that deployment, you know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so then I decided to use my GI Bill, and I went to a truck driving school while I was working at the prison. I got my driver's license, and then I got my first trucking job soon after that, and then I've been doing that ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You had your own truck for a little while?
Yeah, I tried that out, ran some rails, and then found another company to work for, and I've been there for 2.5 years now. It's a pretty good, decent company.
And
very good company, actually, and best one I've worked for.
Okay. Do you want to say who it is?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just didn't know if you guys wanted me to. Yeah, I work for Walmart, drive for Walmart.
Okay.
Yep.
Distribution.
Yeah. I mean, they're big corporate,
Yeah.
but you gotta. It don't bother me. I like everything about it. They take care of me.
Right. Well, from what you've told me, it's a good gig.
Yeah.
Like you make.
Yeah.
And I started. We started this with the intro that I wrote about blue collar workers and grunts being the blue collar and frontline workers of the military, but the blue collar workers make this country go around. And I learned early on in my blue collar career outside of the military that you're probably not going to be rich as a blue collar worker.
No, you never will be.
But you can make a very good living and support and raise your family as a blue collar worker in this country if you're willing to learn a task and put in the work to complete your task every day you show up.
Yeah.
And
it's something you can be proud of,
right. And you can see some pretty cool stuff if you're interested in it,
Yeah.
And so I want to bring up, Wreaths Across America, which I didn't even know about until I was talking to you.
Yeah, I didn't know about Wreaths Across America until I worked at Walmart, and I got a letter in my file saying, hey, do you want to do this Wreath Across America? And I kind of asked around about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm not sure all the numbers and everything, but it started up in Maine, and a guy, I wish I could remember the wreath company's name up there. And
so a company that makes wreaths?
Yeah, is what I believe. And actually, I got the guy's name here. Yeah, Worcester Wreath Company out of Worcester, Maine, I believe it is. And he started bringing on his own, started coming down and placing wreaths on fallen soldiers' graves. And it grew into this big thing. And Walmart, they do, it's like, I don't know, we had hundreds of thousands of wreaths that they distribute. And they do a big convoy, and they start up in Maine, and then they relay them down to Marcy, New York. And then Marcy, New York, they came down to us. And then from us, we drove them up to Grove City, Ohio.
Okay.
And then from there, and it's a big changeover. And this year, it kind of stunk with this COVID because I didn't get the full. Usually they bring people from the community and police departments and everything like that, but it was kind of like toned down because they couldn't have the big
to do.
Yeah, you couldn't have all the people together. So Grove City had, like, they had the police department and they escorted us out, and they had like American flag with the fire department, and that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then my transportation manager, he actually got to go down. He got picked to go down to Arlington, and he brought his family down there, and they actually helped lay all the
Awesome.
wreaths on the graves. But they do it at all, like,
All the veteran cemeteries.
yeah, all the veteran cemeteries, not just Arlington. They
Right.
go all over from. It's a pretty cool deal, and it's all nonprofit, and it's a good way to remember,
Yeah.
remember the fallen.
Exactly. Awesome.
And they also do, like at Penn State, they do a big cookout for veterans and wounded veterans. It's like a huge thing, and then Penn State gives them free seats and everything, and
That's good.
yeah.
So, we talked about a lot of stuff. We got a little emotional, and we talked about some transition quickly. And
Yeah. Well, the whole transition thing,
that's what
I think
want.
you need to prepare for that before, and I wasn't. And I was immature about it, I guess you could say.
Well,
you
you're
don't
still
really
20,
think ahead. Yeah.
22, 23. You're
Yeah,
still
I
a
didn't
kid.
have- yeah.
I don't
And
care what
wasn't-
anybody says.
Yeah. We weren't thinking ahead, and I don't know. I don't know what we could do better to help with that transition.
I think it starts with a better TRS, a better TAPS class, a more
Yeah,
in-depth
yeah, but-
training of what to expect, and it should come sooner. And I'm not even going to say I'm not against completely saying that maybe it should be different for guys that just came out of a kinetic fight.
Yeah, it was because I wasn't invested in that at all. Like, I didn't want to hear it at all. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even go one day.
Mm-hmm.
I think I showed up, signed in, and I just couldn't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I
think we went together too.
Yeah.
Well, they don't
yeah.
make it fun. They make
No.
it very dry,
No.
boring, and
It's
monotonous.
PowerPoint and
Yeah.
And it's not like it's fun, but it's like there's things that I wish people told me. Like I opted, like in my situation, I personally opted away from the life insurance plan. I'm like, I'll just get life insurance. They
Yeah.
wanted like $600 a month. I can't get life insurance. Nobody will cover me.
Oh, really?
Nobody. Not one company. Not
Yeah.
an outreach. Not an affiliate. Not a nothing. And so like nobody told me that. A lot of people don't tell you that you're going to experience a pay gap. Like you think you're going to get retired. A lot of guys over at the Wounded Warrior Battalion or coming to the end of their career. And it's like you have no idea, but you might go 60 or 70 days without a paycheck. You don't have a break in service. And nobody tells you.
Yeah.
And I think they do better about it now over there. And like by the grace of God, I had like 78 days of leave I could sell.
Oh.
Yeah, so I sold it off, and I was fine. I had a plan, I had a bubble, and I was paying attention. But a lot of these guys,
No, think about when me and him got out, what that last paycheck came, and it was like, all right, man,
Figure something out.
Probably should work now.
Yeah.
You might want to be going to school and doing something with your life.
Yeah.
Do you, Fro, or did you have any more, Ryan?
no, I would just say look right into that camera and tell the viewers what you wish you could have done better about that, and then just give your overall. If you're going to send a message out to the hitters and out to the veteran community, what are you saying to them?
Yeah, I prepare. I wish I would have prepared a lot better for Afghanistan or just my whole Marine Corps career. A lot of times I was immature, and like a lot of us are, and blew some stuff off, and I've heard you say it too, and it's just read and just get engrossed in that whole war fighter mentality, and you're not going to know when that's going to kick off, and it's too late by then, And I felt like we were well prepared. I was very lucky in the unit we got in, but you always feel like you can do a whole hell of a lot more. And yeah, just train. Yep, dig your NCOs and your senior lance corporals for information.
Pick their mind.
Yep, and you know the ones that'll give it to you and the ones that are squared away, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Well, man,
That's cool.
Dude, I greatly appreciate it. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome week. Just to let you guys know a little bit more, we all served together, but I haven't seen Joe in fucking 11 years.
Yeah.
Or something. And there's something to be said about that Brotherhood of the Warrior, because it can go 11 years. I haven't seen him, haven't kept up as much as we should have, and then boom, show up at the house, and I mean, we're just killing it.
And like we didn't skip a beat.
Didn't skip a beat,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, and it's really cool to get back together. And Dave Brown talks about, we talking to him about reunions and such, and how good that is for the soul, especially for people that you were there with and you went through that, that ultimate suck with. And so we wanted to have Joe on and kind of get his side of things, since the combat, like we said, was more of a team and a squad level fight. A lot of times we would, we're in the same platoon. We didn't see each other a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So it was wild, but it was great having you out here, man. Humbled, honored, loved that you came on, and thanks for coming out and sharing that, man. Thanks for getting vulnerable for a minute so we can actually pass out some, some of what goes on, some of the reality and the aftermath, and it's not it's not a woe is me, it's a prideful thing. Like some of that is the most joyful things and prideful things you've ever done in your life, and there's a lot of emotion that comes with that. It's not all sad and mourning.
Yeah,
a lot of it is that we got to see, some of America's 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids at their absolute best.
Yeah.
Not everybody can say they get an opportunity to see that, feel that, be a part of that. So
yeah,
for good and for bad.
Yeah. So thanks, man. I appreciate it, and thank you guys. If you took anything out of this, like I said in the beginning, share it out. Share it to the people that need it. Share it to the people that are going to take the most out of it and help each other out. Be nice, and on behalf of us, have a good one. Until next time.
Thanks, brother. And thank y'all for watching.
Definitely. That was awesome.
Well, that concludes this episode. Thanks for listening to Choices Not Chances podcast. Please share, like, and subscribe wherever you listen or watch our podcast. You can also follow us on social media at Choices Not Chances podcast. Thanks, and have a great day.
Louisiana Gun Shop, your firearm headquarters, specializing in concealed carry guns, ammo, and training. You can get your Louisiana permit with us. Also a large selection of AR-15s, or if you are that build-it-yourself type of guy or gal, we have all the parts to build and customize your own AR-15. Glock, SIG, Taurus, Ruger, we have all the brands, both in the store or at LouisianaGunShop.com.
Not too far. You're marking the building. Hit him. Yeah, that's good. That's a good shot. That's money. Yeah. Money.